Today we are going to sew your slipper soles onto the bottom of your slippers. So the first thing you need is your slipper and your slipper soles. These are the gray regular thickness slipper soles from Chasing Fire. And then you can choose, and then you also need something to sew them on with. A tapestry needle. The larger ones are better because if you're working with wool, it's easier to get them through the holes and through here. I have a smaller one because I live in a house where tapestry needles go missing. So if you're in the same thing, just find something where your I guess yarn, thread, etc. of choice will go through, and you're golden. So I've chosen to use a matching color of yarn, of wool. So this is a fingering weight wool that matches my slipper. And I'm going to use it to secure my soles on. You could also use embroidery thread. Usually it's 100% cotton. You can also take fishing line and combine it with your wool and combine it so that it's doubled to add some longevity if you happen to be giving away your slippers, or if you are a really intense user of the soles and you're concerned that the wool won't be durable enough. But I'll show you one of my slippers. So it's made of the same yarn. This is Poppy Yarn and Fiber from Calgary. This is what I made the slippers out of. So as you can see, this slipper sole has been on here a long time, and it hasn't worn through at all. And this is just the single fingering yarn. And this fingering is from Sea Turtle Fibre Arts, in case you're wondering. So those are the two yarns. So I'm going to show you how to do this method where it's kind of a seamless line around, and then there's triangles. And so it really holds down the sole so it doesn't flip up from the side, which I really like. I just like that. So I'll show you just on the one, and then you can just know how to repeat it. All right, let's begin. Okay, so what I have is my slipper soles. I like to have them so that the wide part is all facing the middle. That's just my preference. Okay, so that's how it's going to sit once it's all sewn on. So I'm going to show you the stitches I use on the bottom. So that's how it is. For my first amount of thread that I put on my needle, I use enough that I'll be able to go around at least twice. I think that's more than enough. And then I just do it through once, and then I leave quite a bit of a tail here so that hopefully I don't have to thread my needle again when I'm going through the process. All right, so first off, come through. I've got my finger underneath here to make sure that I'm only going through one single layer. And I want to make sure that I've got quite a tail as well left over. That's what I'll use at the very end to tie inside the slipper to keep the sole secured. Okay, so my the first thing of this, the first step is to go all the way around once every other hole. Okay, I mean, I've done it quite a few times, so I'm doing it blind, but make sure that you're not grabbing parts of your slipper, like making sure you're not catching part of your slipper. Sorry, the slipper's covered in a lot of dog hair. Our studio spaces are away from where the dog goes, but this slipper has been hanging out in our house on my foot, waiting for this video to be made, and so is covered in dog hair. And then our last one for this round. And so now we are perfectly set up for the next round. To secure it. There we go. And I'm using, so it's got wool and nylon in it. So could be why I'm getting such excellent durability with the sole that's already sewn on. Okay, so at this point I have my beautiful circle. I really enjoy this, that line. So now that we have our beautiful line around, we're going to start on our zigzag. So this is another kind of two-step process. We're going to start with our right leaning secures, and then do the left. So between the two dots, find a spot and get your needle in. And then come back up the bottom. And between the two dots, put your needle in. And at some point, there we go. To redo my needle, sorry. And then again, between the two dots, there we go, right there. Put the needle in. Continue around. Just always make sure it's right between the two. I go too fast to get a bit of a tangle. Always make sure you're over the edge, because if you're too close, see this one's buckling a little. I got a little too close to the edge. So it's, there we go, that one's better. All right, so there we are, the end of our circle. Okay, so I'm gonna reverse and go through that same one. And now we're gonna do the left leaning parts of our little X. So go back into the same basic, close to the same hole. Back in. I might have gotten enough yarn on this to actually make it. I thought I'd need more. We'll see. It's not. Okay. And again, try to overshoot the leather so that you don't have buckling. All right, so now I'm at the end. And so what I do here is I pull through this side and I pull my beginning through here too. If you have a crochet hook, that might make it easier. And I very simply tie it off. You can get fancy and tie, I mean, there's a lot of stitches in here. A lot of stitches. You can tie it into there. I'm just going to tie them to each other because they've been a long way in here. That's it. I do. There you go. Oh, right there. There's our sole. All sewn on and ready. So then the next step is to put on the other one, and we'll have matching slippers with matching slippers. So look at that. This is one that's been washed and worn and loved heavily, and then these are what they look like brand new. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching. Good luck with your soles. We love seeing pictures of your projects. And there we go. Thanks. Bye.